Welcome to Tonight Live. I'm Paisley Beebe. Tonight Live is brought to you by Styles of Edo, top brand for men's formal fashion, and Azul. When Second Life's leading ladies want style, quality and elegance, they look no further than the stunning designs of Azul. Later on tonight's show, we're going to hear a performance from musician Shader's Rhapsody, whose in-world shows are not only an expression of his music, but famously interactive and very entertaining. We also meet the man with the bag on his head, Second Life Scribe, who has his own TV show here on Treat TV, The Grid's Honest Truth. Second Lie also has a large following on Twitter due to his Linden Lab parodies. But first, Anton Bogdanovich is known as Shark Korobase in Second Life. In real life, Dr. Anton Bogdanovich is conducting research related to virtual reality, artificial intelligence, human-computer interaction, and motion capture. He's currently employed as a postdoctoral research fellow in the University of Western Sydney School of Computing and Mathematics. Dr. Bogdanovich leads the URIC project, aiming at recreating the way of life of ancient Sumerians in the period around 3000 BC using artificial intelligence. He's also been working extensively on motion capture and its uses beyond simple animation in the virtual world. Welcome to Tonight Live, Shark.
Thank you for having me.
Now, we're about to show a video which was taken in URIC. Is that how it's pronounced, URIC?
No, it's actually Arak, but
Arak.
Yeah, depends on the country you're from.
Oh, well, that'll be my excuse then. Can you tell us a little bit about what we're about to see, if we can roll the video clip now?
Yeah, so you're about to see one of the most complex bits of our project where the avatar shows you his dynamic planning capabilities. So basically, we can tell every Second Life avatar that he has a certain goal to achieve, and rather than just prescribing how he has to do it step by step, we just tell him what the goal is, and the avatar, or the agent as we call it in artificial intelligence, is able to figure out the sequence of steps which lead to the goal.
Okay, so with the avatar that we're looking at now, can you tell us what his goal was?
Yes, so he received the goal to make a clay pot, and he already constructed the plan, and the plan involves approaching the clay, adding some water, mixing the clay, and making the pot. But while doing that, he figured that he sensed in the virtual world that there is no water where it's supposed to be. So he had to fail his current plan and then just rebuild it and go search for the water first. And he found it in his home and then continue as usual.
So did you do that on purpose to see what he would do, take the water away?
Yeah, that just was the simplest way to show it. It can be much more complex. He can, get involved into complex negotiations with others, maybe even trade his clay pot for water or something like that. We can get as complex as you want.
So in this instance, you programmed him to come up with alternative solutions if things happened?
He can do it by himself, so he's fully autonomous. I just tell him that's your goal, to make a clay pot, and he can figure out what he has to do to achieve this goal. So I program him to be able to construct his plan dynamically, to be able to figure out what sequence leads to the goal by just knowing what are possibilities, what are the actions he can do, what the objects he can use, this kind of stuff.
Okay, so all the people that are in this video, are they all AI?
That's right. Everyone you see there is AI, is fully autonomous. Yeah.
And how many of them have you got in this sim?
I currently have about 16, and that's mainly due to the lag issue with Second Life. It's already slow enough. Yeah, so that's a big problem for me, having this lag.
How many sims have you got? Just the one?
Yeah, I just have one sim.
Okay. So what was the purpose of creating this particular project?
Well, for me, the purpose was a research one where I'm working on the combination of virtual reality and artificial intelligence for 7 years now, and I played with electronic commerce, with tourism, but it just wasn't quite impressive for me. And then I met these guys in the Federation of American Scientists who were involved in just building the city, and we decided to go ahead and just use it as a fantastic tool for modern kids to learn. There is all this new generation of kids who grew up with internet, Google, and Facebook, and apparently they're very different to us in the way they learn. I can just keep talking about it forever, but yeah, we just know that pretty much the best way to teach them is a video game.
Okay, and why did you choose this particular subject of Samaria?
Oh, it was just a practical choice because they already had some archaeologists, our American partners already had some archaeologists who created the sketches for them, and they already had the city in place, so I just had to make it alive, and it was just much easier to start with something that is already out there.
Okay, and what do the students actually learn, and how do they learn? So do they create avatars and come in to interact with the AI, or just stand back and watch and basically take notes? And
well, yes, they come as their own avatars, and I actually use it for two different types of students. So there are history students who are supposedly learning history by just dropping in and walking around and talking to all these avatars. They can talk to a Babylonian king or a priest or just an ordinary peasant and ask whatever they want, and they can just observe how they do things like they say sleep on the roof, something that is really weird, and they can ask them why they do this. Mm-hmm. But they also have
Are there any questions that the students might ask them, because they reply in text, that the AI would not understand, or is it only within a certain range?
Or they can ask anything. If AI is not good enough to deal with this question, if it's not trained or is not programmed to answer to that, it will just say, "Oh, look, I don't understand you. It's not my reach."
So if they said, "Who's Britney Spears?" the AI probably would say, "I don't understand."
Oh, they would say who. Well, it depends on who you ask. We have
really?
Yeah, we have one.
Isn't that not in keeping with the project, though?
Yeah. We just put one weird agent who is a priest, and we made the legend behind it that he knows everything about the past, about the future. He just has some magic powers, so he can reply to any questions. Everyone else would say, "Oh, look, I don't know who Britney Spears is." But this particular priest, he would tell you that she is a famous artist.
So before we move on to talking to you about motion capture, I know that this sim is closed at the moment, but you're going to open it when is it going to be open?
In about a month's time, I will open it for everyone, yes.
And there's going to be, you're apparently going to be appearing in a documentary on an Australian television show. Tell us when that's going to be on and a little bit about that.
Yeah, that's also about March. I don't know exact date. I don't think anyone does. It's basically a documentary about research in Australia. I didn't ask many questions, so I can't tell you much about it. Okay. I just know that I'm there, and it's about roughly the same stuff you're asking me here.
There you go. We got the scoop. Now, you've been doing a lot of work with motion capture, and your YouTube videos have been getting quite a few hits, and I know that Hamlet Hour has highlighted quite a few of your experiments. The interesting thing to me with the motion capture is that you've been using a motion capture, well, it's called a suit, and you've been using it in an interesting way in Second Life. Would you like to explain to the audience the way that you've been using it and what your research is? And then I'll just show a couple of pictures of that.
Yeah, that's right. So basically the idea with the suit came from the ARAC project. It all started there when we had to record all these fancy animations you saw in the video. And the easiest way for us was just to wear the motion capture suit, similar like all these professional animators do. And then we decided, why don't we just hook it up to Second Life so that everyone can just stream his real motion into there and maybe even control the interface, like build stuff with his hands, rotate objects with hands and zoom it up and fly around by just moving the hand. And that's basically what the project is about. And we released the first prototype well before Kinect has appeared. So we were ahead of that. And yeah, so the idea is that you wear the suit, and everything you do, you have different modes. Like you can have a navigation mode where you just use your hand to make the avatar move around. You can have a building mode where you build with your hands, and you can have just a movement mode where you say go to a dance club in Second Life and you just dance with your geeky moves rather than selecting move number 34.
Geeky moves. And what you were using it for, one of the projects that I saw was to play basketball in Second
That's
Life.
right, yeah.
And also the idea was that you might be able to improve. You were explaining that in the Ukraine where you're from, when you grew up, they didn't have access to basketball, so you were practicing.
Yeah, that's right.
Without a basketball, so that you thought maybe this was a way of training and to use the basketballs. How accurate were you when you got this all rigged up with your basketball?
It actually was surprisingly pretty good. I didn't play for a while, and I just started to play with the suit just to test it and be prepared for recording all the demos. And after a while, you get used to the biggest problem is that we didn't have any 3D glasses or anything that you have to look behind your back all the time, but also that you didn't have the 3D perception of the basket. You see just a 2D image.
Yeah.
And that was a bit distracting, but you get used to it. The fact that you are not holding the ball is, you just forget about it in a minute or so.
Wow.
As soon as you see the ball bouncing, which reflects your movement, you just forget about the fact that there is no ball.
Which is similar to the Wii experience, I should imagine.
Yes, it's kind of similar, but it's the difference with the suit, say to Wii and to Kinect, is that it's very, very precise, and the way we do it is very different. So the way they do it in Wii or Kinect, they try to analyze your movement and say recognize a certain gesture or the beginning of an animation and then play this animation. Here we don't do it. We just stream your proper movement. And the suit is much, much more accurate than any of this.
Okay. Well, that was
precise.
That was one of my questions. You know, are you going to continue with this with Kinect on the market? But from what you've said, it sounds like it's still a goer.
Oh, absolutely. It's from a different planet. Kinect is not capable of this kind of precision that we do have. It's really millimeter precise. If you let your audience see this video where I compare the video stream with a suit stream, you can notice that it's extremely accurate.
Do you think they'll improve the Kinect? Is it capable of being improved to the point where it'll be on par with the motion capture suit?
Well, you can only do it if you have multiple of them, but even in this case, it's still difficult.
Because I know the motion capture suits are hugely expensive.
They are right now, but if you think about how expensive your laptop would have been 10 years ago, then, it's going to be the same with the suit.
Fantastic. So what are we going to see next from the motion capture suit? Have you got some projects coming up with that?
Yeah, I'm trying to work with my students on the actual building Minority Report kind of stuff where you navigate your menus with your hand and then you build with your hands, this kind of things. Nothing new.
Building in Second Life or?
Yes, that's right. Yeah, building in Second Life. So full 3D experience of you just walking and touching objects and rotating them around and scaling them and putting them on top of each other. Wow. I don't think you will see it elsewhere.
Exercise and
that's correct.
Second Life. Thank you very much for coming on the show, Shark. It's been fascinating. And if people want to find out more about Shark's projects, his website is going up on the screen. And also you can look him up on YouTube. He's got quite a few videos up there, including some surfing videos, I've noticed. Bit of a surfer.
All right. I thought I hid it from the public, but Yes, thanks for having me again, and
No.
I'll try to hide it as quick as I can.
I didn't see any videos of you surfing. There were videos of other people surfing.
All right, because I was pretty bad when I recorded this one.
Well, you can use your motion capture suit. Do that in Second Life, can't you?
The suit is just going to get wet, and that's not what we want.
Thank you very much, Shark.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you. Stay watching. Up next, musician Shadez Rhapsody.